I redefine the impossible. That's why I'm the Concrete
You
Rose.
talked about how you wear so many hats. I did not realize, I knew that you were a very spiritual person, a spiritualist, but I didn't realize that you were doing spiritual life coaching.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because with what I do with acting, I'm interested in becoming a life coach because I do have a background in coaching. So I'd like to hear a little bit about your journey into becoming a spiritual life coach.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So that started at 4 years old. First thing I remember is I had a dream from God, and God was talking, and God's voice is exactly how they describe it in the Bible. It sounds like thunder. And I remember I was scared, but I wasn't scared at the same time, and I didn't understand what they were trying to tell me. All I remember is they said, "You're going to go through a storm," and I couldn't hear the rest of it. But then the next thing I remember, my favorite auntie had passed away, and I saw her come through my window. And she wished her son happy because it was his birthday, and she wished her son happy birthday. And then I could hear her talking, and she wasn't there, and they call that mediumship, when you can talk to the other side and stuff. So I didn't understand what was going on, and my family was like, we don't know because you're 12 years old, and that's really young to have that gift. So I know what I saw. I saw the lady come through the window. I know I saw her.
Yeah.
'Cause I was just laying there like, what I'm supposed to do? Like,
Right.
somebody I know that I saw go in the ground just walk through the window.
I saw what I saw.
Right,
Right. Yeah.
right. But I didn't understand. I didn't know what a medium was. I didn't know about tarot reading and all of that stuff like that then. And then I remember I became 18 and I started feeling bad feelings like 2 weeks before somebody would die. Like I would have a bad feeling. And then it just started going from there. And speaking of Prince, I remember I was working at the warehouse, and that Monday before he died, I told my coworker, because he was the only person who knew I was spiritual. I said, somebody really important is going to die. And that Thursday, my coworker pulled up on me. We was in the warehouse. He said, yo, Prince died. And he's always joking. I'm like, stop joking, Hollywood. Prince ain't died. He said, no, for real. Prince died. I'm like,
Whoa.
so it's like that sometimes. Yeah, it's like that sometimes where, like, I'll just get an inkling of feeling and I just know to trust it. It's really
Right.
believing in yourself, really, and having a really strong relationship with, I call them your higher ups because everybody has a different name for God. So I just figure if I say higher ups, that covers everything.
Right.
Higher ups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
higher ups, yes. But it just kind of started growing into me paying attention to certain things I was seeing that was different. I started seeing ghosts again. Then I seen a perfect circle on my wall when I woke up. And I just kept Googling and Googling. I'm like, what is the circle on my wall? Because I'm a Virgo. We pay attention. That circle was not there last night. And it's a perfect circle.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't know what Salem witch type stuff is going on up in here. So I was like, what is a complete circle, Google? I know you got the answer. And it just kept coming back to your psychic, your psychic. I'm like, ain't no way in hell I'm psychic. And I just accepted it. Next thing I know, I'm shuffling cards. I'm getting booked by people, and people
She
telling
like,
me, yeah. And then like my friends are like, oh, you Miss Cleo. I'm like, don't call me.
No, Miss Cleo was fake.
No, come to find out, actually, she was real. It was the company she was working for.
Oh,
Oh.
It was
really?
the company she was
Oh.
working for. Come to find out, she was real, but because she signed a contract, she was stuck.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I learned something
Okay.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So in hearing you talk about it, I love the fact that you talk about the higher ups. I say the most high, because as you said, people just have different beliefs about what that higher power is. You obviously believe in God, right? Because I heard you say you heard God's voice.
yes, I love
And then at the same time, you are experiencing these, what we would refer to as supernatural occurrences. And you started talking about tarot reading. What often happens, what I experience with Christians very often is, as soon as you start to talk about otherworldly types of things, more spiritual things and real honest spiritual things, Christians often tell you that you're worshiping the devil, for lack of it. They go that far, that that's not of God. And I've been of the belief for a very long time. I had to get past some beliefs that I was raised with, but there's not just one thing. I had a conversation with family over Christmas, and there was a discussion about tarot cards and readings and such. And I just wasn't weighing in on the discussion, but I was listening to what everyone had to say. And when someone would make a point that did make sense, I told them that they made a good point, but everyone noticed I wasn't sharing my point of view. And I said, well, I'm not quick to say that doesn't exist or I don't believe in that. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's of something evil. And I guess I just wish more people could be there.
Not as narrow-minded.
Right.
Yeah.
Christian, I am a Christian minister.
Okay.
So Christianity has a lot of biases and narrow-mindedness when it comes to things that is not per se in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what Linda's trying to say, I'm very open to other aspects of religion or God, and like you said, there's different perception of what that is. I believe every religion or belief has a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
We do not know exactly what that whole picture looks like. We only can grasp what our mind and our belief systems allow us to, and that's what we hold on to. But when you're unable to accept another idea and you think your idea is what it is, that's where I'm like, question Christianity. And I have a degree in Christian counseling and pastoral counseling. So I studied a lot of what a lot of Christians out there have. And I questioned a lot of things that I taught when I was growing up, because I grew up Episcopalian and then I became Baptist. So you have to seek God or the higher ups or the Most High or Allah or God or Jehovah, have whatever word or perception that you have for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
For yourself, and to be able to push that belief or to say that you're wrong. I believe in Eastern philosophy, because like I said, everyone has a little piece of the puzzle, because as they say, we are God, we are his creation. Why would we not possess all these gifts? Why would he not give you this gift that you can help others?
Exactly.
Why would he not do that? And just because you can be able to see things and reach people other than what that book says, that's what God has intended for you. May not be intended for this pastor over here in the Baptist church, because maybe he's trying to reach a whole nother set of minds and ideas for another set of group of people. But you have your own set of people that you want to help through your God, through your upper ups. I love that. I'm going to start saying that, the upper ups, because
Higher up.
when you higher ups, I say the upper ups. The higher ups. But I do I am open to that, and I see that that's something that you didn't ask for it. God gave you that gift.
Yes.
He gave it to you, and you are able to utilize that in the will that he wants you to. So I said, I commend you.
Thank you. Thank you
I
so
do.
much. Thank you so much. Actually, when I was 9 years old, I forgot to say that. When I was 9 years old, we were at a church, and my mom said this, I think she said it was a preacher. The lady came up and she prophesied over me, and she said I would be a prophet and I would speak to thousands of people.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
Thank you.
Wow.
Love
Wow.
that.
I don't like to
So,
put myself
I be on
though.
TikTok sometimes, right? And so do you have like a following on TikTok? Because I see them because I be scrolling late at night. I should be asleep, but I'm not. And because TikTok have you up for hours,
Yes,
right?
it will.
But I see people, a lot of doing tarot card reading.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
So is that something that you do or something that you want to do?
Yes, I actually have a following on YouTube. I was on TikTok, but when I changed my phone number, I got kicked out. So I'm trying to figure out how to get back in on my TikTok. I have a following on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube under the Virgo Garden. And that's
Virgo Garden.
yes, ma'am. And they tell me, they're like, you give it to us real, because I'm not up here trying to be like unicorns and butterflies. I'm like, that's not reality. Like, if God say you made in my image, why are you going to ask for something, say amen, worry about it, and not work for it?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm all about self accountability and putting in that work.
Yeah, you
Yes.
gotta hold yourself accountable. Because my thing is this: you ask for God to help you, but you're not doing anything to
Right.
help yourself. He's just
Right.
not going to make a miracle. I mean, he can now. I'm not
Yes.
putting the limitations on God,
Right.
but you still have to step up and say, "Let me meet God halfway, or at least halfway, and
Right.
say, what can I do so I can be blessed?"
Right.
Because
Right.
the blessing could be over here,
Right.
but you're still waiting over here on the left. All you got to do is just meet him halfway, and the blessing's right there waiting for you.
Yeah, and I told them that all the time. And like, you gotta believe, you gotta have faith. 'Cause I think it was Peter that was looking and was walking on the water and kept sinking because he kept looking and getting distracted.
Yes.
Bring that up, and then I told them about when Jesus said you could tell the mountain to move into the water. Like,
Yep.
it's all about the mental and the emotions. Once you get your mental and emotions in check, you pretty much got everything else figured out.
Exactly. It's
So right.
exactly.
So right.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go
And
right
that is
with you,
great.
lady.
Yes. I hear it's funny, April, too, that you talk about your for lack of a better word, liberal lens that
Mhm.
you observe Christianity through. Because right now, several Christians that I know of would probably have a fit
Oh,
hearing
yeah.
you acknowledge
Oh, yeah.
as you did. And I often go back to that's how they ended up burning witches long ago. Because I have a whole thing about the word witch, okay? Just thinking of witches in general, because we have been conditioned to believe that a witch is bad because of all of the people who thought differently being burned at the stake. Because, oh, you think like this, you must be a witch. Anything that's not within our tight-knit little neat
Right.
package
Right.
has to be witchcraft. And those people were burned, and they weren't nothing evil. The Christians burned them. Like, how is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I often think about
It's just like when you look at, let's say, you're a prophet. Okay. A lot of Christians would say, no, you don't believe in prophets. But the Bible never said anything about not believing in prophets. They say do not believe in false prophets. So that means that there are real prophets out there to give you the real deal, the real encouragement, inspiration, information, that you would need to help you move in life. It says false prophets are those one who are deceitful.
Right.
That's what you watch out for.
Right, or the ones who are about their ego. But I also have a thing about witches too. I believe there's good witches and there's bad witches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like people for me. But go ahead, Nina. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't call myself a witch, and I don't dabble in witchcraft. I believe it's also a line between witchcraft and spirituality. And I believe witchcraft is something that is learned, and spirituality is what comes from God. Like me seeing my auntie come through the wall, like that's a spiritual gift. So I feel like it's the difference. But just like you said, Miss Linda, there are good witches though.
Absolutely.
There are good witches out there. Like hoodoo and voodoo, it originally started for good purposes.
Right.
I don't know much
What's
about
the
it,
intent,
but
you would
it
say?
did start for good purposes though. Ma'am?
Right.
I say it's based on the intent.
The intent.
How
right.
you use the
Right.
gift.
Exactly. Yes. I
Okay.
definitely believe that. It's who's using it and what they're using it for.
Right.
Okay. I get with that. That's
Yeah.
understandable. I mean, if you look at it with a reasonable mindset.
Just logic, right? Just
Yep.
logic.
Yes.
Yep. Just like politics. It's just what you're gonna do with the power.
That's right. That's right. So true.
Yes. Wow.
I
Okay.
redefine the impossible. That's why I'm the Concrete Rose.